Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Don't you love it when things are both easier and more affordable? Like when the rain washes your car for you. Or like when you save up to 10% by bundling your renters and auto insurance with USAA. Bundle with USAA and start saving. Get a quote today.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay. With experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to High School Hoops with your hosts, Steve Collins and Jake Steger.
All right, welcome to High School Hoops, episode 134. Today we're going to talk
about branding.
Branding a program. And before we do that, I'd like to give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the #1 shooting machine on the market. Great people up in Bloomington, Minnesota. I know where Bloomington is too, so go over and check it out. I think I've said this, but my record is 32 seconds breaking it down, so I'm pretty good at.
That's impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
You might make the Guinness Book of World Records.
I don't know. I'll have to ask them if they have a record for that.
Right. If you're trying to beat that, you got to get something better to do with your life. If you're trying to figure out if you can be the fastest guy to break down.
I want to be the fastest person to break down a Dr. Dish. That would be a great thing. Mention Coach Unplugged or High School Hoops. You'll get $350 off. Mention me. They'll take good care of you. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. The whole reason we're doing this 4-part series is because of teachhoops.com, because I've been diving into it and I get asked about building a program all the time. And, how do you do it? And how do you effectively do it? And what are the keys to doing it? And it's like, obviously, I've been putting a lot of stuff in there for that. But anyway, so if you're looking for someone that's done it, you want to save. I always tell people, if you want to use my 30 plus years of experience and save yourself a lot of time from watching all the YouTube and DVDs, or you want to save time, you want to save energy, you don't want to walk down the wrong road, come over and check it out. I'll save you some heartache, because I've probably been through it.
And time.
Yeah. Money and time.
Money and time. You can't beat it.
Right, because those DVDs are, it's less than a trip to McDonald's to join teachers.
Yeah, but again, we can talk about this all day. It's more than the Netflix for basketball coaches. It's the interactive Netflix, dude. I'm telling you right now.
That's what people don't
never
get.
Going to get it, again and again and again. The best instruction, the best thing is when it's social interaction and conferring and talking to other people. It's the best thing out there. So,
yep.
All right, coach. Branding. So our first step was culture. So you're building that identity, and then the next step is really promoting that identity, right?
It is. So so under the branding thing, here's where I put under branding. I put so again, going back to my story with losing, we had to rebrand. Which was like me going, I wanted new uniforms. I wanted to go change the schedule. I wanted to deal with everything how we promoted it, how we built it. We started the youth program. Bruce Diamond helped me do that. Work with the feeder programs. It was literally starting. Like I remember sitting in my room, and it might have been a chalkboard at that point. Was it a chalkboard? Might have been even a chalkboard. That's how old it was.
What's a chalkboard? I'm just kidding.
No. But anyway, and we wrote down everything, what do we have to do to rebrand this thing? Because you don't want to be Kmart in a Target world, right? And so I wanted all those little kids up the hill at the elementary school to want to come play. So we had to figure out how we could do that, how we could get them involved, how we could get them to our games, how we could have a youth night, how we could get them just to see us playing. And then I had to figure out, okay, I want them to see us playing, but I don't want to see us getting beat by 45.
Right.
So it was building that youth program, getting them playing together since they were 6 or 7 years old. But then on top of that, it was so many moving pieces. Luckily I didn't have any kids at that point in my life.
Right. So when you talk about branding, I think for someone that got worn out with branding for 5 years of the varsity program, trying to build one, is that you got to find other people to delegate those things, because it'll overtake your time. And then you won't be able to talk about the other key things about still establishing your culture and your X's and O's and player development. This branding piece, I think, is the easiest piece to facilitate to other people, whether it's
people that you can trust.
Yeah. People you can trust, people in your community, like other people with basketball mindsets that could be on your board or on your staff to support it. Parents, booster people, community people, all that stuff. That is where you want to take, because sometimes our energy is overtaken by branding, because sometimes some of that stuff is really fun, but it's really, and when it comes down to it, there's so much more that needs to happen within your program.
Right. And the thing is, like we have somebody, I don't run the youth program. I delegate. I mean, we have somebody that runs our youth program, and he's not even a parent anymore of a player. He just, we have a nonprofit. We run the girls and boys program through it. He runs that. It's like one thing that's not on my table. It's not on my, I don't have to worry about it. Like, and I obviously I've been able to do that later in my career. I had to probably be a little bit more hands-on early, but I think that's a really important thing that you stated there, that you can't do everything. And the first thing we talked about, which was culture, is of the four that we're talking about, like you said, this is the one. As long as you get somebody you trust and someone that has the same vision as you, this is the one. Because you can't get rid of player development. You can't get rid of the X's and O's.
Right.
Like,
and you
that's
can't
going
get
to
rid
fall
of
on you.
The accountability and consistency, the reps and all that stuff.
So this is the place that you can, like, how can we build that community? And again, it's going to depend. Are you an inner city coach? Are you a coach in a rural in Iowa? I mean, it does matter where you are.
It does.
But I think it's the one that you can find someone to help you. You can at least help you if you don't feel like you can totally hand it off. At least help you.
I think, and then when I think about just some of the things that, the one positive thing that I go back in my 6 years as a varsity coach and the 5 years that I was at a high school program, our youth program was very, very solid. And I think it was solid because we made it affordable, we made it exciting, and we made it intricate with our high school program. And from a small rural community, kids wanted to come to games. Basketball was affordable. It was fun. And it was relevant. So I think you got to when you're building a program, you got to find ways. I had lots of camps, fun, gear, all those.
And you got to brand. You got to brand early.
Yep.
Because this is one of the things that I noticed when I took over the Memorial job. Memorial was a hockey school, so I knew that I had to brand early, and I had to get those kids. I had to get them playing basketball before they put skates on.
Right.
And we're a swimming school. How many state titles have we won in swimming?
Right.
You look at 2 of the 3 sports were literally some of the top in the entire state. So
right.
Wrestling was not. So there's basically 4 sports you can play in the winter in Wisconsin. And I had to compete against 2 that were 2 of the top in the Midwest as far as national swim. I mean, we've had unbelievable. I mean, I don't even know. Between swimming and hockey, we probably got 15 state titles. So all of a sudden, my branding had to trickle down. I had to get these kids when they were 6 or 7 before they even thought about putting skates on or getting into a pool in the summer. Madison, Wisconsin has the biggest summer swim meet in like the country.
Right.
All city. It's crazy. So it was one of those things that's super important as far as, you got to look at your community and figure out what does that branding entail.
Yeah.
Anything else, Coach? I think that's good.
No, I think those are like really good little tidbits. I think I think it's really,
again, if you want to dive deeper, teachhoops.com is
right.
where you can dive deeper.
We could talk about branding all day. There's so many different things, but the question of the day today is, since you started coaching, so your time frame is a lot longer than my time frame, and I'll answer it when you're done. What is one thing has changed a lot in the game that whether you like or you don't like?
I think the 3-point line changed the game a lot. I also think,
you were still around. You were still playing with the 3-point line.
Yeah, 3-point line was in college when it came in. I think the style of play has changed probably the most. That would be I've just seen such a transformation of, like, you need a big, you need a post, to just this spread kind of.
Yeah,
they're looking for a high school player. You're looking for that 6'4" long kid. For like a college or NBA guy, they're looking for that 6'8" long kid. So I think that's where it's kind of pivoted. Even if watching our state tournament in our state, that's the kind of player.
I think that teams normally, I would say when I first started, or even when I was in high school, I think teams overall just played better team offense together because it was multiple positions and roles and things like that. Now it's been more of a push of skill development, and you don't have these intricate roles. You just have a lot of skill. So it's a lot of isolation or these type of things and spreading the floor. So the game is just not the flow and the style. Like, I agree, is a lot different. So I completely agree with you.
Don't you think? I think it is.
Yeah.
So, anything else?
Nope. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go take my lasagna.
We made this one relatively short. You gotta go take.
No. I just gotta take the foil off so the cheese can melt really good.
Okay.
And I'll be
go do that, and then
sounds good.
All right, bye.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.